Right before he lost consciousness, the kidnapper asked him a strange question.
Are you happy with your life?
In a daze, he found himself inside a biotech lab, undergoing a full-body examination. Then they cut off his clothes, bathed him, and disinfected him. When he fully woke up, he was greeted with a round of applause. A black man who appeared to be in charge told him he was the only survivor, but Mike didn't understand what he meant. All he could remember was getting off work and then being attacked by a mysterious person. Now somehow, he had ended up here. A woman in red kept questioning him, but Mike couldn't understand a word she was saying. He touched the bruises on his face and finally realized it had all really happened. Panic set in, and he started getting agitated.
I don't know what is going on!
The man in charge decided he needed rest, but Mike knew that once he entered that room, he'd basically be under house arrest, so he made a break for it. Luckily, the world outside still looked familiar. He flagged down a taxi and rushed back to what he thought was home. But when he opened the door, he wasn't greeted by his wife. It was the same woman in red. The layout of the house was different too. There was a fancy chandelier, the kind a college professor like him could never afford. He ran to his son's room and found a shelf full of trophies. The most recent one was a Nobel Prize, something he had only ever dreamed of. He tried calling his wife, but no one answered her number. Meanwhile, the people from the lab had already tracked him down. He fled again, this time heading to the hospital. Before he could accept the idea that he was in another world, he wanted to make sure there wasn't something wrong with his body. The doctor told him everything looked perfectly normal. He borrowed the doctor's tablet and searched for his wife's name. He found out she was hosting an art exhibition, a dream she had always wanted to pursue. When he arrived at the gallery, he saw her wearing a graceful gown, nothing like the housewife he once knew. He poured his heart out to her, but she didn't seem to remember ever being married to him. After the show, they went back to her place. He told her everything he remembered, but his wife's memory is different from his. She said that years ago, she got pregnant before marriage. Mike chose his career over her. At that moment, Mike finally realized he had crossed into another reality. To figure out what had happened, he returned to the house and searched for clues. It turned out the scientific experiment he had once failed to complete. In this world, he had succeeded. A 2-centimeter cube that could send people into a parallel universe. He remembered the kidnapper, no wonder he took Mike's wedding ring. In this world, Mike had achieved his dream, but he had never ended up with his first love. To fix that regret, he had forcibly switched lives with the version of himself in this timeline. What he didn't realize was how much pain that would bring to the woman he left behind.